What better place to start than Katy Watson's goal?
Yeah.
Bit of a screamer.
Yeah, it was really good, and it was really pleasing because we'd worked on a similar pattern during the week in terms of how to get out, in terms of their pressing structure. But I thought it was a real good team goal, and ultimately she's finished it off really well to give her a 1-0 lead.
You spoke about Katy the other week and her development, and it looks like she's going on leaps and bounds at the minute, and confidence or everything around, all round game seems to be on the up.
Yeah, sometimes you've got to give young players time, and with that they become more confident in their own ability. She's a very talented footballer. She could have had probably a few more goals on Sunday if we're being super critical. She had some great chances that were created for her in the final third, and yeah, she's coming on leaps and bounds, which is what we want to see.
With that in mind then, was that a good point at the weekend, or are you disappointed you didn't take it through?
I was disappointed, mainly because they scored with a handball and it wasn't given, which we have had an apology for, which said it should have been a free kick to Sunderland and the goal disallowed. So it frustrates us that no one saw it when there's a big decision in a big moment, because ultimately we could have come away with all 3 points.
And is that all the more annoying now because of the number of games that you play, that those sort of decisions are actually critical?
Yeah, I think so. I think we were hard done by it when we played Birmingham as well. I think it's a penalty on Kira Barry. These are big moments, and ultimately there's been 2 games where we could have had more from it. So yeah, we keep going. We're creating good opportunities, which is pleasing. We just got to, go to the next game.
But you're setting down a marker. I mean, you started the season well. Something I spoke to Richie Stubris about with the men's team in terms of development. You presumably have levels at which you want to reach as the season goes on. I mean, are you ahead of where you thought you could be, or are you behind where you thought you might be?
I think we're in a good place. I think we're aspirational, and I think we can be so much better. I think our ball retention is a big thing that we're trying to be really big on, trying to eliminate the unforced errors, not turning the ball over as cheaply, because I think we do that at times. But we're in a really good place. We've got good momentum. The squad's really confident, and that's really pleasing going into the next couple of fixtures before the international break.
And is that momentum part of it? Is you're a team that's difficult to beat?
I think so, and I think it's exactly the same for Charlton at the weekend. They're a difficult team also, and I think you've got to set your marker out. You've got to be solid defensively to give yourselves a platform to go on and win the game. I think the amount of shots Grace Maloney's had to save is minimal in 4 games, less than 10, which again is really pleasing. And that comes from having a good structure from the front all the way to the box. And I think it's certainly given the platform to be where we are now.
And in coaching terms this weekend, our rivalry again renewed.
Yeah, be united. I enjoy playing against Charlton. It's good to pitch yourselves up against a team who's well established in the Championship. They're always up there. They've had a good start, and it'll be 2 good teams going head to head on Sunday.
2 teams that might possibly have gone under the radar to people who have maybe don't follow the league closely. They might look to some of the big names and the signings, but Charlton team that you've always had a huge amount of respect for over the years. This is a big test of where you're at. We talked about the Birmingham games and similar, isn't it?
Yeah, they're up there. They're sitting in 2nd place. If we beat them, we go ahead of them. That's a real carrot for the squad. I think you've got to win your head-to-heads. If you're going to be up there come the end of the season, you've got to take points off the teams that are up there. They're a stubborn team. Got really good defenders, good goalkeeper. Defend their goal really well. Only conceded 1 goal all season, so we're going to have to be at our best.
It's still quite early days when you look at the table and you look at the way certain teams are going. Is it shaping up pretty much as you expected, or is there anything that's particularly impressive?
I think so. I think it's we're only 4 games in. You could be really pedantic and look at who's played who in terms of who's played the so-called stronger teams and how they've pitched. Birmingham had a tough game against Sheffield at the weekend. I think the league's that competitive. I think anyone can take points off anyone, but the front runners are certainly where I thought they would be.
You mentioned last week that Kira might be back. Is that the case now? Bigger boost is that, even if it is a bit of an impact of the bench, we talk so much this season already about the options that you can have there.
She's trained this week. She's trained well this week. She looks good, so hopefully she comes through the rest of the week, and hopefully we'll see her on Sunday.
And just lastly, it's not your domain, but it might be worth pointing out to fans that they can have a pint and watch the game. So come see a team right up there at the top is a little bit of field.
Yeah. I think it's an exciting game for the fans because there's a lot going on. There's live singers, there's face painting, there's bouncy castles. There's a lot for the children to ensure we've got a bit of a bumper crowd going into the game. So there's a lot to do. So we encourage everyone to come down, have a drink if you want to have a drink while you're watching the match. Unique, different. It's a pilot, and we'll see how it goes. But hopefully the fans enjoy the game.